Sorry, it's gonna take a little while to set up. Okay, pretty much set up now, I think. Okay, so I'm gonna keep working on the villages because I want them to look nice. You can see since the last stream, I have nice tiered villages going on now, and the player is adjusting the elevation correctly. There's no colliders, so you can just walk up and down walls. And for the staircase, I didn't do that yet, but I'm probably going to do that first thing this stream. So we kind of just walk through the staircase, and then once we get to the top, we just pop up. But I was thinking in my head how I can implement the staircases better. And I have an idea, and I hope it'll work. So that's probably going to be in the animal file because our player is an animal, because it's a human. And then we have a controller in there. Now I might end up translating this code over to the human, or probably human and not player entity, because the player inherits from the human entity, but so do the NPCs, and we probably want some sort of information similar to that on the NPCs. But I don't know exactly if they'll be different or if they'll be the same or they'll be similar. I don't know yet, so I'm going to do just on the player. And that might be all we ever need. We don't necessarily need NPCs to go up and down stairs. Maybe they can just walk on flat tiles and then, we're good. Alright, so in the controller of this, it's a bunch of shit code, but a lot of this needs to be moved and removed and all kinds of stuff. But let's look at what we do with placements. Okay, so here's where we're detecting stairs, right? And then if there's stairs, actually it's not even necessarily, this is not stair detection actually. This is like elevation detection. So if there's anything placed at, well, really, if the first placement is placed at a certain elevation, the player, that's the new floor for the player. However, what we should do is try to look up. So here we're going to have if there is a placement, and placements at index 0 is the ID, and this is why we need to make an array of these. But whatever the ID for staircases are, I should show you guys the editor too, because I made a lot of improvements to that. But we'll get into that soon enough. Where are stairs? Okay, so stairs are placement ID 6. Eventually we will build an array so we can say, placement ID stairs, and then we don't have to memorize these numbers. But for the most part, we don't have to. At least the interface to build them, I don't have to put numbers in console anymore. I'll have to show you guys that in a little bit. Okay, so if it's a staircase, I'll just put a little comment here so we know what's going on. Once I clean this up, it'll be kind of self-documenting because it'll be placement ID staircase, but since we don't have that, comment will help. And then we want to get that placement elevation, which is this, but we want to add to that, right? We want to have it slope up as we walk over the tile. I wish there was a good way to get village grid layout. I probably should build that function if I don't have it already, and I feel like I don't have that. So we have get village placements, we have get village seed, we get layout ID, get block type, which I'm not currently using because that's all different now. But I don't really want that yet anyway. It's kind of what the get placements are now, I think, instead of block type, kind of are using it just a different function now. All right, so yeah, we don't have anything for getting the grid position. We should be able to do that just by getting like probably this whole function here, or most of this function here, which is why maybe within get village placements we will call get village grid position or something. Get village grid position, I guess. It's a long name, but whatever. And I really should put these all inside some sort of object, and I hopefully will do that soon enough. We want to pass through X and Z. So this is like our world space coordinates, and then we want to convert them into our layout space coordinates. So it's going to be pretty much everything here, it looks like. And we're just going to return grid X and grid Z. I'm not even sure this is how I want to do it. I think this will be okay, and I guess I'll return this as an object. But, the whole thing for the staircase, we don't just want to know what grid tile we're on. We want to know what percentage we're on it. That way we know how much we're going up the stairs. If we're halfway up the stairs or 3/4 up the stairs or whatever. But I think we'd still want something like this. So in theory, all of this could be removed. Village size XC. I just want to make sure there wasn't something I was doing different that needs to be passed through here. Yeah, so in theory, we can say our var grid pos is get grid position at X and Z. And then here, we can use grid pos.x and grid pos.z. There's probably a lot of other places we can be using this function, and just call get village grid position. So we probably will do something like that if I find any code that is still basically doing all of this everywhere that we need to use it instead of just calling the function. All right, hopefully I wrote that all correctly. I guess I'll put this in console. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know for sure how I want to do this, but just get it in console. We also have to look at that little console error that we get every now and then about village, some sort of village placement issue. So I'll have to do that. All right, so we want to call get village grid position. I mean, no, we can't really return it. It kind of stinks. It doesn't really matter that we're already calling get village grid position within this function. So we're already calling it and then have to call it again. In theory, we can return that with placement and stuff, but I don't really want to do that. It's not necessary. And it's not that computationally expensive. And we're only running this code while we're walking on a staircase. All right, so it's going to be our var grid pos. is our get village grid position at, I guess we want to call this position X and Z, I suppose. And then we also, so we need to do this based off our rotation, right? So our rotation should be at index 1 for this. So var stair rotation equals that at placement at index 1. And that is, we basically are creating IDs for those rotations. So it's 0, 1, 2, 3, you know, where it's 0, 1, 2, 3 equates to 0 degrees, 90 degrees, 180 degrees, and then 270 degrees, right? Yes. So I'm not going to be working with degrees. I'm going to be working with radians, but I probably want to do something like this is divided by 4 times math.tau. So we're going to convert that into radians. Okay, so that's our stair rotation, our grid position. And then based off our stair rotation, maybe we'll have our stair rotation ID and our stair rotation rad or something for radians. So in here, we're getting just this value, and then we'll use that ID to do that. Because I'm not sure how I'm going to do this yet, but in theory, it'd be nice to have that ID. We also probably want to end up looping through our placements. This is only testing one placement. But I was having an idea, and I kind of want to test it out right now. Before we even get stairs fully working, I want to see if I do want to end up looping through them, because this is my idea. So currently, I'll show you in game, but I also will show you in the editor. I can find the right place in the village. All right, so I like to have my idea that I think is a good idea is to have, you know, these different levels, right? And there's buildings going across them, right? So here, you know, these buildings are higher and these buildings are lower. But the awkward like block piece in between, you shouldn't be able to climb that obviously, but the awkward piece in between, I'm just putting like a little wall where the staircase is, because like here it wouldn't really work, because what if a door was placed here, then you can't go in and stuff. But my idea that might end up working, if we go into the village builder, let me try to remove those pieces. So you can see I actually have UI now, which is very nice. Let's bring that down to 3, and let's add a staircase. So I'm going to, it's all going to be redone a little bit, but let's try to remove, let me bring this placement up so I can see. I'm going to try to remove these awkward gaps, right? So my idea, okay, that's the topmost one, I believe, is that if we overlap the stairs, and this probably isn't the best way, or the best village, it'd be better if, no, it's probably fine, yeah. So if we had more stairs here for just that one, so if the building was placed, I'd rather be half of the, only one set of stairs needed there, but it's fine. Might actually work out. Maybe we'll even have this go a little bit longer. Hey Steve, yeah, I only went live, let's see, 16 minutes ago. I'm late today. So if we go to our, so I get a little bit used to this UI here. I'm probably going to rename some of these buttons. Do something like that, and then we're going to remove these buttons, and they're all going to be offset now, which kind of stinks, but it's not that big of a deal. So let's build some roads at this level for just this one. So I have to remove that one. I think this will work out better than having that awkward gap. So Steve, right now, my solution is for having, I like having the buildings at different tiers and stuff, but then where the staircases go, originally I'm just like, oh, I guess I'll have to have just a wall there because like we don't want to have a door, there, because if a door is there, hey Steve, how you doing? If we had a door there, that'd be awkward because there's a staircase. But then I thought later on, if we just had stairs that went both ways, then if a door's there, then that's fine. So I think it will work out, and this will be hopefully a better solution. So let's put another wall here, because depending on how the building generates, it might not go that far out. So it's going to be for a short village wall. Okay. I guess I should just get rid of this here. This tile. Where the hell is the tile for that? It should be one of these. There we go. A chain through the world would be a nice add-on. Yeah, it would be. The whole issue with that is the terrain is procedural, so we'd probably want a very flat area. It's the same issue that I have with paths, where if a mountain comes, then it gets weird and shitty. This is going to be pretty awkward and narrow here, so I might move this whole area out so it's not so narrow. Or maybe this side just won't have a building. Maybe this side will have something smaller. Tunnel it. Yeah, I mean, that's hard to do, but if it were easy, then I'd definitely do it. If I could easily do it, then I'll also have roads, like pathways and roads all over the world, which I would love to do. But, programming that, I don't have fully figured out yet. On this side, I guess I'll try to do this. The reason why I'm not super happy about it on this side is just I made this a little bit too narrow. I guess it's not that bad. Yeah, it's not that bad. Be a little narrow. Alright, I need a wall. Now I don't have to paste a bunch of shit into console. I still need to show what rotation the cursor is at. So that's something we'll have to do eventually. Yeah, I don't love how narrow this gets here. I would have preferred if I did the same thing on this side, where we have really it's 3 wide on this side, right? And then 2 wide on this side, and then that brings it down to 1 wide on this side, and then 2 wide on this side. 2 wide is fine. 1 wide is kind of narrow for my liking, but we'll see. All right, so we want to spawn some buildings up here. That's why I need to be able to see which way I'm rotating things. Okay, so that should actually work out fairly well. Yeah, I mean, it's maybe still a little bit awkward. In theory, I can push everything out further for just there, but then if the door is here, so it's fine. Yeah, you know what? That's fine. You'll just have to walk up the staircase to get to the door. It's not that bad. All right, we want to get rid of some of these buildings. I don't know what tile they're on there. And there. And then we can get rid of this awkward gap on this side as well. And I think these are the only walls that I put in this layout, the awkward walls that I ended up not liking at all. Maybe I could have retextured them and stuff, but I think this is a better solution. I guess I want to put roads down at these heights first. And since this is 5 wide, how many? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe that'll work out. Yeah, and we'll have another 2 by 2 there. We still need roads on these blocks. And then this, I need I need to show the editor where this string light is placed. I need to work on string lights as well. I should make some notes of what I need to do this stream, so I don't forget. But that one won't work out where I place it. Okay, that's better. Okay, let me make some notes about what we're doing today, so I don't forget. Notes. Fix stairs and fix string lights. Okay. Yeah, so we need to have the staircase set up here, lower down on the ground level. Yeah, I gotta rename these. It's hard for me to find what I'm looking for. What else stairs? What do I name it? I mean, I'll get used to it over time too, but how come I don't see stairs? Oh, there it is. Village stairs. Okay. Like that. And do the same thing on this side. And then we need to build that wall out. And it's one wide here, which again, I don't like, but that's just on the side. We can bump it out if we have to. Okay, so that will be for we need walls now, right? So that's here. Nope. Here. And then you want to bring that up. Whoops. Okay. Rotate this. Whoops. One more. Okay. Yeah, I like it on this side. It's not that bad. On the other side with the one wide, not so great. But this is much better. We don't have that weird gap in the village. Just it slowly slopes down, which is nice. I like that. And now I have an export to clipboard. I really don't need console open at all for this. On this whole tool, I don't need console. So now at the very bottom of this page, which I forgot how to do. I forgot the keyboard shortcut to go to the bottom. There is one. I just don't remember it. Is it Control End? Yeah, I think it is Control End. Yeah. Hold on, I gotta check that email. Okay. But yeah, we have the copy to clipboard feature. I guess ideally it'll have the whole village layout ID attached to it, so I'm not accidentally like overwriting the wrong one or something. But right now we're just messing with one at a time, so it's all at index 0. All right, I think that's already a big improvement. We still need to get staircases working, but this has confirmed now that I think I like how this layout works in case there's a weird overhang with doors like here, like this door, the only way you can get to is walking up that stair. Still not like necessarily perfect, but I think it's good enough. I think it looks better than having that gap. So I think I'm okay with it. I couldn't do anything other than this. Okay. But it's fine. I think I like this anyway. All right, so we have the new model or the new layout. Let's go back to where we're working with the staircases, and now that confirms that I probably do want to loop through these. So we will still check if the first one is staircases. Maybe then we'll just check if the next one is staircase as well. And then do something else. I don't necessarily want to loop through. I don't want to loop through every block, probably, at least not for now. We could. It's just obviously a little bit more computationally expensive the more things we do with this. Yeah, let's just have it so we're just checking if the staircase is on the first one, right? Which means some of these placements I did, I might have to redo, which I'm pretty sure the one over here is in the wrong order. I built the wall first, but I should have built the wall last because the wall's at a higher level. In fact, let me do that right now. or I like forget. So we want staircases first. Whoops. Then we want the road. And then we could do the wall. I'm gonna have to rename these for sure. Hey, guinea guy. How are you doing? Okay, let's export that. Oops, that's the wrong file. This one. Well, that's awkward. It goes to the end like that. Okay, whatever. You're good. I'm glad to hear that. Look at these layouts we have. I need to fix the village string lights. You know, it doesn't look perfect because this is like the editor right now, right? In game, it looks a little bit better because like this, the trees aren't using the right shader, so like they're not billboarding when they should and stuff. But we have like these cool tiered villages. I'm working on having the player interact with the stairs correctly. The player actually already interacts with the different floor levels correctly, just not in the dev tool. I guess I could try to go outdoors, but no, I'm not going to. In fact, let's just do a refresh because we don't need to do this in the editor. We need to do this in the game. So, and I should build an exit function that resets all of our stuff, so I don't have to actually refresh to enter and exit the editor. Well, not to enter, just to exit the editor. Okay, so this is what the village actually looks like in game once it loads. And the different levels do work, just, oh fuck, well, how did I break it? That was working a second ago, I promise. Huh. Huh. What is our player's game.world.player.position? Okay, so it said it's not a number. Whoops. Where did I introduce that? All right, let's reset our position to 0. Okay. Okay, so I think it's just the stairs. There's just a bit of code that we added for stairs. Let me like not do the stairs. Let me just walk up and down walls. Okay, so the walls are working fine. I still have to look at this error, but not right now. So you can see, since I am editing the stairs, clearly I did something a bit funny with that. But we actually do have the different levels working correctly. They are the player's detecting and walking to their correct level. I'm gonna try to walk down these stairs, and I'm expecting the same thing to happen, but I just want to check. What the fuck? Let's check this one. Yeah, okay. Okay. That's fine. We gotta walk away from that staircase. There we go. I want to check this corner though, because that has the wall on it. Okay. All right, that's not a problem. I just got to look at what I was changing with the update here. So here's for staircase detection. All right, so this won't always be defined on the ground level one. That's correct. We don't want to do that. So that's where Nan is coming from. So here, this is not even how we're going to do it anyway, but just to get rid of that, just do, or 0. That would fix that, I think. Yeah, because this would be undefined. But this line, we just paste it over just to have an idea of what we're going to do with this, but we're not even going to do that because we need to, ramp our elevation change. I'm going to not use rotations yet. I'm going to just assume they rotate one direction and just test out if the player's walking up and down the right amount. we do kind of need our base elevation. Oh no, we don't. That's not true. And we're already doing the elevation here. So yeah, we don't need to do much with this here. You can just get rid of that. Let's have 0 there for now. But we need to we need to figure out what percentage we're on that tile, right? So like if I go into some MS Paint stuff here, the goal is, okay, so here's a top-down view of our staircase, right? And I'll just draw some stairs, so that's like, it's running this way. So if our player is here, we're not on the stairs. If we're on the stairs here, we're 0% of the way. If we're here, we're 50% of the way. If we're here, we're 100% of the way, 75% of the way, whatever. That's what we're trying to do. We do have to obviously do that for each orientation. So we have to do some sort of rotation with it for which way the staircase is rotated. But we need to calculate that. And we currently can tell what grid we're on. So this could be at, like this whole staircase is at like whatever, like 10, 22. And I think I want that. You know what? We can simplify this. We don't even necessarily need this grid position. We can just figure out our position and how far we are from it rounded, or not necessarily rounded, floored or sealed to the, ceilinged to the nearest 4, because that's our grid size. So this function here, you might not even need to be calling. We could instead just say, and this is going to be based off the orientation, so we're going to have to figure out rotation, but again, we're not doing that quite yet, but we're going to say something like our x delta or something. Whoops. Well, I mean, I don't know how to answer that question, Stevoid, because technically this is our colliders. Ready? Oh, fuck. Hold on. Forgot about that. This is my colliders in the game. Does that answer your question? So there basically are no colliders. And then the bit that we do, like, where do we have colliders, really? We have collision with terrain. We have collision in mini games where we're using Canon.js, where we can have like whatever shape we want. I really don't have colliders. Yeah, none. I have had colliders in the past, and I definitely don't just want to have cubes, like, because for the trees, I want to have those be like cylinder colliders. And I've done them in the past. I'm just never happy with them, so they're all disabled right now because I hate my colliders. I suck at the math. I'm probably going to end up using some sort of library. I just have to make sure everything runs well and it's efficient. All right, so in theory, we're going to have an x delta. We might want to have these at absolute values. I'm not really sure, but let's just mess around with this. So it's going to be our comparison of our position at x and our position of, I guess, floor to our position x, floor to the nearest 4. Something like this. Do the same for z. We're going to assume no rotation right now, so we're only going to use one of these. And they want to inverse them for different rotations, but again, not doing rotations right now. Collisions are confusing as fuck. I hate collisions. They're like, my brain is not smart enough for collisions. Okay, so then here, you know what? Can't we just do mod 4? Am I overcomplicating this? Can't we just do mod 4? I mean, we might have to still make these absolute values and stuff, but that should do everything we want to do. I was like really, really overthinking it. And then we just inverse it if it's rotated 180 degrees, and then we use a different axis if it's rotated 90 degrees. I think that'll work. So here we can do our x delta times 3, because that's our height of our stairs. Let's just see if that smoothly moves the player up and down. It might not be using the right. What's the best way to update this? I guess I gotta. This is like fuck, such shit, but I'm gonna grab our controller for the player, and then game.world.player.controller equals, and how much did I? Whoops. function. Okay, let's see what that does. Okay, well, I basically want to do that. I want to have the player. So my goal right now, right, is to treat it as a ramp, and then we can step it, right? But right now, if we're doing a side view, right, get rid of this. Hold on. So this is our side view, right? And then we have some stairs, and then, you know, that's our level. So right now, if a player is here, you know, whatever, and then, you know, our player just walks through the stairs, and then once it reaches this point, it snaps up, right? Something like that. So instead, we want to have our quote unquote collider, not really collider, that does something like this, right? So our player would just smoothly walk up that. And then once we get that working, we want to step this so it rounds to the nearest whatever to make it match these stairs. Even if it's just a ramp, I'm kind of okay with that. But in theory, we should be able to do some sort of rounding on it so it does something more like that, you know? And we have a solution. I mean, this is doing something. It's not doing what I want it to do. There might be a weird offset where these aren't. The grid is not. The grid should be aligned like that, though. Okay, so this is. I don't know why that's so high. Oh, because our delta is not normalized, right? So we'd want to normalize it. I guess we'll just normalize it inline here. We'll probably normalize the actual variables at some point, but let's redo this. This should be better, but I think there's like a weird offset. So basically, top-down view of this. You know, we're trying to get the percentages within this range, but it looks like it's doing something like in this range or something like that. That's what it looks like it's doing. So I'll have to figure that out. Maybe it would make sense for it to be offset by 2 because our tiles are 2 by 2. No, 4 by 4. And if we're going off the center point, then we need to offset it by 2 in a certain direction. So maybe that would make sense. All right, we need to grab this controller code and update in console and see if that's at least better with the normalized value so we don't go so high up in the sky. How do I do this? Yes. Okay. Yeah, much better. I think it is just offset, but I don't know how much. It doesn't look like it's by 2. It looks like it's offset by 1. Let's find a staircase that is kind of going in that direction, which I think would be this one here. Yeah, so like you can see we are walking up it. And I think it's offset by 1. I don't know why it would be. Oh, maybe because of our flooring. Maybe we want to do seal or something. Oh, we're not doing floor anymore. And it might also depend. No, it should be fine. I probably want to do absolute on this. I'm not sure of that. But how does negative values work with mod? So if we had like negative whatever, mod 4, yeah. Let's make it absolute. Math dot. We still might have to do something with inverting it. We might have to invert these coordinates. Maybe, I don't know. It should be fine, hopefully. All right. Let's just offset it by, I don't know, 1 negatively. I mean, yeah, these are kind of magic numbers, but until I figure out at least what these numbers should be, I don't know what to do with it. You know, at least if I can figure out what the magic number is, maybe I can figure out why that magic number is what it is, and then I can, you know, not really have a magic number. Okay, so that was the wrong direction. So we want to add 1 to it instead of subtract 1. Maybe it's not even 1. Maybe it's like a really weird magic number. It's like 0.872 or whatever, which would really suck. Okay, that looks like it's working. Cool. Let's find a staircase that's actually pointed that way, but okay, these staircases. Not this one, but this one. Okay, so this should actually work fairly well, and I might even leave it like this. Oh man. Oh, because for that layout, we don't have our stairs. That's the first block. Right. These ones, did I ever re-import it? Yes. Okay. So that actually works fairly well. Like, I'm happy with that. Yeah, like sometimes your player might clip through it a little bit weird because it's treating it as a ramp, but like, it's a fucking indie game with a shitty programmer, so this might be good enough, like forever. I can try to step it, but I'm afraid to. Whoops. Is this good enough, guys? Especially if you're just moving. Like if you pause on it, then yeah, you see some weirdness. But if you're just walking up it, you don't even notice that. That's a weird gap there I gotta fix. Yeah, I think this is fine. I mean, in theory, the stepping would just be like one more line that I can try to fuck around with, but like I'm afraid that I'm gonna get too committed to it and it's not gonna be working, and I'm gonna like waste an hour trying to have the little stepping work correctly. And one of the issues that might maybe come up with stepping here, let's see, does it lerp well? Yeah, it does lerp. I was gonna say like maybe the camera would snap weird, but it lerps it well enough. Hey Banto, how are you doing? That actually probably wouldn't be an issue. I mean, the player might be a little weird and snappy, but I think even the player is lerping a little bit. It's hard to tell with such big elevation changes. In fact, if we do it here, I think it's snapping. I think, yeah, it is. I'm doing pretty good. Look at these fucking awesome villages with staircases and stuff we have. It's awesome. Okay, so a couple places need to be fixed where we have the wall placed before the stairs, because we need to have the is that all set? No, it's not. It's just inversed. Okay. We need to have the wall always placed after the stairs with how we're doing this detection. But we also need to have it so we detect stairs going both ways. But let's just have rotation working first of all. So for rotation, we want to, I don't know if I need this rad thing, but we'll grab our ID. Var rot adjusts. For each rotation, we'll say if we inverse it and if we're using each one, right? So I don't know what these will be necessarily for each rotation, so I'm gonna kind of have to guess them. Yeah, no, I really didn't like the flatness. And I've always wanted to do like these tiered villages. I just didn't know how to program them, but I guess now I'm a good enough programmer that I can actually do it. I just gotta fix these staircases, and then we are pretty much go with it. We need to fix the collider, so these walls you can't just walk up, but that'll be further along. That's not going to be today. Okay, so I'm just going to make up some values because I don't actually know what we want. But the first one will be for if we're using X or Z. So first we'll use Z. I think that would be the default one. So that would be 0. How do I want to do this? Trying to do this a little bit clean, but I'm probably just not going to do a little bit clean. I was gonna try this with 2. It's not even clean. I was just gonna do it a little bit simpler. I was gonna do this with just 2 values instead of 3, but it's easier to do 3. So not X, use Z, and then our rotation, if we're inversing or not. I don't know if we want to inverse it. But assuming we don't, and I'm gonna put positive. I know it's not doing anything, but it makes sense to me because some of them are gonna be negative. And then the next one will be X. Again, I don't know if negative or positive. We'll try. Just trying to think in my head how these rotations would work. Do positive, and then it would be Z, probably negative, and then it would be X, probably negative. So in here, we want to grab our rotation adjusts. And then we probably want to normalize this. There's a couple ways we can normalize this. We could just divide it by 4, but we could also do mod 1 and divide this by 4 earlier. Doesn't make much of a difference. Okay, this would be our normalized value. I'm going to make another line for the rotation adjusts. So then for rotation adjust, it would be I actually don't really want to do it this way. I want to have it so it's that's fine. We'll figure it out. All right, so our x delta is going to be times equals, and then if we're using x or z, so it's going to be a rotation adjusts at stair rotation ID, which means we probably don't need this rad thing. I'll just comment it out. And let's just call this our raw ID or something, so it's not so long. All right, so rotation ID, and then at the first value, we'll do the same for z. This is not doing the flipping though. How I want to do the flipping, like we want to do 1 minus, right? That's how we would end up flipping, I'm pretty sure. The issue comes with how I have these defined here. Now, I mean, there's easy ways to fix this, but it's just like, how dirty and hacky of a solution do I want? If I do it this way, right, then we're gonna say if x delta, if it's a flip, then just do x, x delta equals 1 minus x delta, and this is for index 1, is for index 2. This will technically work. Do I want to do this? Oh, and this would be for only if we're, so we want to do this before we multiply them. Yeah, you know what, this is fine. Whoops. We'd do that for both of them. We don't need to do the conditional twice. And then we just bring one back to 0 if we're not using it. Okay, so these may have to be flipped, these ones or something, but let's just see what happens. Maybe I just got it right the first time. And then we need to figure out if there's 2 staircases on the same block, how we're going to handle that. But let's just handle 1 staircase on the same block right now. Okay, and I don't know if these ones were ones that worked anyway, because these ones might have had the wall. Oh no, they were right, but they're not doing anything now. Okay, there's like a little blip there. Okay, what did I do wrong? So rotation just x, z, and then if we're flipping it, x, z, flip, x, z, flip, x, z, flip, those values look okay. Then these are our deltas. Oh, we're dividing by 4 twice. We don't want that. I don't think that's the whole issue. Definitely part of the issue. I guess we'll try it. This won't work, but let's just see what it's doing, since it's really hard to tell if we're dividing it by, if it's a quarter of what we want to be looking at. Okay, let's make it daytime so we can see what the hell is happening. Okay, so I think that's working. It's just the axes are flipped probably. I wonder if it's actually using the rotation. Yeah, so this one is, and this one's flat though. None of them should be flat. None of these are 0, 0, right? They're always either 1, 0 or 0, 1. Yes. But we have, no, that's right. X delta, Z delta. Oh, right. We're only doing the delta here. How do I want to do this? I can just add them together. That'll work. But they are inverse, so since we already know they're inversed, let's just flip all of these. And this might be good to go. The only other flip we might have to do is the last values. Let's just see what happens. This might be good. And then we need to do it if there's a double staircase. Now we have those, which I didn't really want to have to program, but so I can make the towns look better. So, okay, so this one's working now. That's good. All right, let's see if this one's working. Yeah, okay, so the ones, oh, that's in both directions too, right? Yeah. Those are different orientations. I should really just have some test village stuff with staircases going in every direction. That would make this a lot easier. Okay, so that's all working. I think there's just maybe one orientation that's not working, maybe? Yeah, okay, so this one, oh no, that's not true. That's what the one with the walls. That's not actually a placement that's wrong. Try here. That's working. Maybe they all are working. And then like this one isn't going to work great because there's a double, so we didn't do anything with the double staircase. Maybe it is working though. It's hard to tell. It looks like it's mostly working. What is the opposite version of ABS? I know FAB is for floats, but how would you return a negative from a positive? I'm guessing just the normal inverse way. Yeah, I guess you just, well, so you what do you, yeah, like negative absolute? I don't know what FAB is. I never even heard of that, but float absolute, I guess that is. I never even used that. Yeah, like the opposite of absolute. So you're trying to make it so it's always negative. So yeah, negative absolute. Unless that's not what you're trying to do. I don't know. Yeah. All right, so maybe this is working. I should have a curved wall, or not really curved, a slanted wall for these areas. That's something I should probably program. Yeah, I'm gonna do that soon. That'll look better. So I think this is working other than the double area. I hope. Cool. That was pretty easy to do. I should probably do it for doubles. How do I want to do that? Maybe for placements 0. So we could just loop through both placements. Yeah, you know what? If our placement is a staircase, then we will have a for loop. We could just loop through every placement and just check which other ones are staircases. Whoops. Or just check the next one, because it should always be a next one. It should always be first and second. We should always do the staircases first. We don't need to loop through them all. Would we ever have 3 of them? Would we ever need 3 staircases in the same block? I don't think so. No. Okay, so then we want to have these at placements I. So we'll just have a var placement equals placements at I. And then we're going to say, whoops, if placement 0 is not 6, then either break or continue. In theory, it should always be on the first one. Yeah, it would definitely always be on the first one because that's what the conditional is. So let's just break. Okay, and then we just want to use placement here. But we need to have ATN2 or something. Yeah, maybe. You mean other, but it's not that bad. You mean instead of this, just like rotating everything. But I mean, it would only replace this bit basically. I don't know. This is fine. Yeah, it would replace a little bit. Maybe replace some of this too. You're right. But I don't know. It would end up being almost as many lines probably because it's not going to be 0 lines and this is not a whole lot of code. I don't know. Let's make this 1 line since we don't really need it to be 2 lines or 4 lines. If I end up doing it, it'd be like almost as many lines. Maybe it'd be a bit more elegant, but like, who cares? This is not that bad. It's I don't know. Who cares? So the elevation adjusts. We want to like, I guess if we do that each, no, we want to have like a max value. So this is like our var stairs elevation is 0. And then at the end of this, we want to add that stair elevation. And then within here, we want to set our stair elevation to be our stair elevation plus this. But we want to, no. Our stair math dot, I always get min and max confused. We want the max value of those, right? Yes. Of stair elevation and whatever the new one is. Okay, I think that'll work. Yeah, and I don't think it's like super like inefficient or anything. And we're only doing the math when the player's standing on stairs. And I don't think it's like that inelegant. So I think we're good. Fuck. Oh, wait. Why are we not doing placement? Oh, that should be fine. Oh, placement like that. And then a raw ID. Yeah. Whoops. Let's go to the notes. It's very good for me to make notes because I always forget what I want to do. Add sloped wall. I just forgot to use a variable, that's all. Well, but we did. Wait, hold on. I did break my player's position, so I think they're probably nan. Maybe not. Why? Maybe we broke the elevation? No. Maybe it is just that error, but why would it not have those defined? Hold on. So I was complaining about x delta and z delta. It was complaining about the position, yeah. Huh. Let me just refresh. Maybe it didn't start out. Maybe our positions were not a number, and then they update it later on. But I don't know. See if the same error happens. If compilers and stuff had sound effects, I imagine that's what it would sound like. X delta is not defined. What are you talking about? Is this a ustrict file? Oh shit, it is. But why was that working before? Did I have var there before? I shouldn't have. What? Oh, because I was pasting in console, that's why. I didn't refresh. Yeah, so this is a ustrict file, so I have to use var, which means we also have to use var here. Doesn't let me be lazy. Hopefully I refreshed. Okay, it's refreshing again. Good. I'm surprised how easy these stairs were. Because I've been not really knowing how to do them. Thank God for restrict. No, I want to be lazy. But yeah, I've been wanting to do stairs. And I never, like, when I just thought in my head, how do I unprogram now? These ones I think are broke. What? Oh, I guess that makes sense. But it wouldn't make sense for that particular block, I don't think. Well, those wouldn't be global variables. Those were inside functions. Those are scoped, are they not? And I'm pretty sure it still lets me make. Well, I guess if I had that variable declared outside of that scope, what is going on with all these errors, man? Oh, well, first of all, I say if no placement or okay. If you don't use var, it becomes global if it's in a scope or not. Really? Huh. That's pretty bad. I probably shouldn't be doing that. You know, if we had a better linter, maybe I wouldn't mind using like ES6 and stuff as much. Maybe I can figure out a better linter that will at least prevent me from doing let like here and then doing let on the same thing again. Let's check if this works on the double staircase. Yes, it does. That's amazing. Okay. This one, I probably, yes. So the problem with this one is I built my layout wrong, and it has this brick floor before the staircase. So it's looking at that. So that's not an issue of the code. That's the issue of me building a layout. So if we can remember where this particular one is, then if we go and I guess I should look at this. I don't want to. I want to look at this error. It only happens once. And it doesn't break anything. I'm going to ignore that still. I want to go to the builder and fix a couple areas that are not quite right. I just hope I can find them. Okay, so I think one of them is this one here. Whoops, that's negative. Okay, so I think this one was an issue. Yes, so that was the one that we are having a problem with. There might be other ones too. Oh, does that one have? No, that one's fine. So we just fix that and we put our wall there and eventually a curved wall or a sloped wall. I don't know why I'm calling it curved or whatever I'm saying. But sloped walls would look much better. Yeah, much better. Property 2 of undefined. Still with this shit. So the raw ID. Okay, so for the raw ID, we will, if it doesn't have rotation, assume 0, I guess. hopefully we can still export that to the clipboard and it will be fine. I think I should be able to. Just see. Yeah, it looks right. I'll just trust that's right. I'm not like corrupting the village layout, hopefully. Okay. Looking good. Got to make a sloped wall. I'll probably do that next. Just have to make sure the slope is the right slope, which might be a bit of a pain. And I don't know why there's that little gap there. I thought I fixed that, but clearly I didn't. I added off stream decorations to these little stands, so it like dynamically chooses different decorations for each one. I mean, there's not a whole lot of Easter decorations, but you can see there's different wreaths and different buntings I can choose. Okay, so this is another one where I made my layout wrong. Let me try to get a visual sense of where I am so I could find it in the tool. I can build my own, like, debug stuff for the layout that checks for staircases and checks that they're the first one or if they're not, and then like either fix it automatically or like highlight them or warn me about it. But as long as I'm not like really dumb going on in the future and just build my layouts right, then we won't have that issue. All right, so do I really know where I am? I mean, kinda. Hopefully. There's a tree. It's a one little staircase. I should be able to find that. Okay, so it should have been this one. And yep, the staircase was placed after the wall. So now I'll reach out in a second. Let me just fix this. Staircase and then wall. And the wall needs to be raised and rotate it. Okay. Export that to our clipboard. Put it in here and read chat. Can you make it so that when you enter the tool, it happens where you're standing in the game? Maybe. Let's look at the init function for it. Well, not even init. Let's look at the call function, which I probably should put inside of here. Like start and end we should have. Okay, so that sets our position to here. I guess I could try to, if we were inside of the village, try to get the position. So here we would do a third then to get it offset correctly, and then we would run that get village grid position on the player. And then we just multiply both of those by 4. That might do it. I have to look if I'm teleporting my player somewhere else in the code. I don't think I am. So in theory here we would just have to do plus grid position dot x and z times 4. I don't know if that offset will be perfect. This will at least get us close, I think, to where we need to go. So now if we go outdoors, and I really shouldn't be doing the go outdoor function because, whoops, because we don't have an exit function yet, so like it does a bunch of weird shit. But let me just like find a random place. Okay, so I'll like try to do it right in between these two stalls by a staircase, right? Okay, I mean that's close. We'll test that again. There's a little bit of an offset to it, but it's pretty close. Let's just try that again. So this time we will go, I don't know, over by the front of this thing, right? This little display area thing. Okay, so now if we go into the builder. Okay, yeah, it works. It's pretty accurate too. It might be a little bit offset by like 1 or 2 grid blocks. But yeah, that works. So that was a good suggestion. Thanks, Getting Guy. Yeah, close is good enough, and I'm not going to spend time figuring out why it's not exact. Okay, so we want sloped walls, and we want to use them everywhere there's a staircase. So, Blender time. I was having problems with Windows search last stream. Hopefully it'll be okay this stream. Knowing the right amount to slope this down might be a bit difficult. In theory, I don't think they're the right scale. Are they the right scale? I don't remember. And we don't want PLI. We want the blend. I definitely want to make sure I rename this. So let's do that right away. So it's going to be our wall slope. And we really should be centering it then. So there might be some issues that come up with this because it's not centered. So if we change it, if we rotate which way we're sloping it, it might have a weird offset to it. But this is the right scale. So in theory, we can just drop one of the sides by 3. I think I want to drop and not raise. Drop or raise, drop or raise. It doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to think of what's more logical. I think drop is better. And I think 3 units would be the right amount. So let's save this and export it. I gotta open up that static file for the models, which takes like 30 seconds to load. Oh, it's going pretty fast. Maybe not quite 30 seconds, maybe 10 seconds. Okay, so for our short wall, let's have it next to that. Paste the new stuff in. And this one will be named short village wall slope, I guess. And then we really need to build an array. I keep saying this, but I'm going to continue the shit code. Let's hope we're not using 14. Let's try to check on that. Shit, I am. Are we using 12? Probably. Yeah. All right, let's just make it some bullshit number. Let's just keep adding to it. Let's do 26. And we'll call this wall slope, and the other one I want to call wall. These don't need to be, since we're actually building these dynamically now, we don't need these little comments. We don't need to know what index they are. All right, the other one I just want to call wall. We'll put them next to each other because none of that matters to order now anymore, I don't think. Yeah, I should probably order these in a way that I want them. Yeah, let's put this up here. All right, this is a fairly okay order. Maybe my road pieces should be next to each other, but it's fine. I'll put our yard curb here. Okay, so we have placement ID 26 for our wall slope. And then let's look at how we're doing just wall, which is here, it's just 13. So let's look at that. And let's just say all this needs to be cleaned up one day. But let's continue the shitty practices. This will be the slope. Otherwise, no slope. I promise you I'll clean this file up one day. Maybe I should get rid of all this fucking comment out stuff that nobody's using and nobody knows why it's here. It was for leaves, which I don't think we're doing anymore, and snow piles. All right, I guess I'll leave it. I mean, it's in you know a git commit, so it's not that important. But all right, so in theory, I can paste this right in, and I can redefine our cursor sets. And tell it about the models in console. Maybe I should just refresh, but I'm lazy. It would have taken probably just as long. And then we just need to call the builder again. Let's see if this has the slopes and stuff. Okay, so if we go here, we have wall and wall slope. So now if I select wall slope, let's okay, so it is there. We would want to raise it. All right, so if I got rid of this and rotate this, oh yeah, should I just make two different slopes, or should I try to do it a bit better? So let's just see how it looks first of all on here. So we'd have to, oh, those were placed in the wrong order, weren't they? Yes, it was. Let's go down to the floor. Let's add our stairs. And let's see how it even looks, because this is the right orientation, I believe, for our slope. Okay. I mean, it's a bit hard to tell because there's like a stall there, but I think that looks better. Where did that come from? Did I do that by accident? Probably. Let's try it on this one as well. These were also placed in the wrong order. Not road. Stairs. Should rename that, would just be stairs, but whatever. Okay, so if we do our wall slope, Yeah, I think it looks good. I just have to figure out how I want to do the opposite side. In theory, I can do that, I guess. The issue, hold on. This would work. Yeah, if we work how we center these, it would work. The issue is that they're not currently centered, so they're gonna jut out. If I come back and redo my models though and center them, that would fix things. Although, I was testing the first block, right, to be okay. Either we want to have two slopes, two slope models for each direction. We'll just call it slope L and R or something. I don't know. Or we do it this way. But right now, with how this is modeled, we get weird jutty outputs. We'll try like this, and we'll change it if necessary. It shouldn't matter. I mean, it's just a modeling thing with the little offset. I do think I might have, well, I don't know. I was going to say, I think I kind of modeled it backwards still, but I don't know if that's really true. Well, they definitely look better with these slopes, so we definitely want them. I just don't know how I want to do it yet. Yeah, that looks so much better. So much better. Whoops. This one probably have to go outside. Let's put that stairs back. From there, we just have to export our model to be centered correctly. Whoops. I don't know where these random bits are coming from. I guess I'm accidentally placing them, I guess. Or, no, I was going to say, or there's a collision with IDs, but I don't think there is. I hope not. What else would have been there? No, there can't be. Oh, there is. Shit. What ID did I make that? Did I make it 26? We were using 26? Oh shit, maybe we were. This is why I have to build an array and stop being stupid. Which means I'm probably going to... Fuck. I'm probably going to refresh and kind of undo some of that work that I just did. Because I deleted a bunch of lanterns by accident. Alright, I will not save our work. I will also try my best to remodel this so it's centered correctly on both of our walls. Right, so gotta do the math for this. So if we get, actually, if this has a center point already, we would just want the center point of this, because it should be symmetrical on this axis. We would just want that to be at 2, a -2. That should be enough, I think. We might also need to make them stick out further this way and this way. But yeah, because the corners might look a bit weird unless we stick them out the right amount. But we will see. All right, so it's exporter slope ply, and then I guess we'll open up the other file. Let's save this. Let's open up our original wall and do the same thing. Is that the right name? Yes. So they should probably hopefully have both the right names. So this is for our short wall. All right, so we'll grab the flat one, and then we will also grab the sloped one. Okay. This is the flat one. And then this is the sloped one. Okay, I'll just refresh. This hopefully centers all of them so we don't have that weird wobbly wall anymore. Oh, but we didn't save any of that because I deleted lamp, so. Let's go into my notes and write stop being lazy and make an array / object for placement IDs. Okay, so now let's add our slopes in. If Chrome stops being stupid about it. Okay, so this one would go on the outside. The real test of seeing if I modeled that correctly would be, where was that tall one? Over here. Hey, Dragon. Sitting here bored as fuck. I've been streaming for 1.5 hours, so that only had to be 8.5 hours, not 10. All right, I gotta go inside here. So yeah, Dragon, we have this nice little village layout tool. It's good. It's pretty, I mean, I don't know how fun this is to watch. I'm sorry if this isn't the best entertainment, but it's kind of, I was saying this last time, it's kind of like therapeutic and relaxing to place these. Kind of really like it. I could just zone out and do this for hours. Which is why we were saying a couple of streams ago, or last stream, I don't even remember, that maybe we can do some sort of like little village building mini game or something like this. Oops. The rotation, it seems like the way I modeled this, the rotation seems wrong. On the slope, it doesn't really matter. It just, I always never know which way it should be rotated. I got mind wiped by fake news, fake fluff for an hour, I guess. Could have been worse. But yeah, this looks much, much better with the sloped walls, like so much better. All right, so we need to place down our stairs. Sometimes the rotate key doesn't actually rotate. It's kind of annoying. Should probably export my work before I do something stupid and lose what I'm doing. Let's also make sure the lanterns are there. I mean, I'm pretty sure they are, but I should have it export this whole line as well, not just this bit. I mean, not just everything but this bit. But that's not something I'm going to do right this second. I want to have this layout look cool. That's so much better than the sharp walls. Yeah, trench streams are good. I really like trench streams. I think it might be streaming right now, or it was earlier, but I was starting my stream, so I didn't get to watch any of it. I watched it yesterday a little bit. So that has to be on the outside. Yes. This is so cool, guys. So cool. So then here, I don't know if I'd want to do this, but if I didn't want this sharp wall, we could either have a staircase there, but if I didn't even want the staircase, I could just have it so if I figure out the rotation for this, I could just have it so it just like does that instead. I don't know. Kind of just an aesthetic choice, but does that make sense? Maybe not. Maybe the sharpness is fine. We could do decorations of these. We can just have a random triangular bit like that. Let me get caught up in chat. Would be good if you could have a ghost of the entity on the tile. Yeah. Yeah. Not 100% sure how I'd want to do that, but that would be good. I mean, at least we have the cursor at the right size, so like, you know, like if we wanted to place a building like this, the cursor shows that's our little ghost, you know. But yeah, if it was a yeah, especially for the rotation stuff. I mean, I can change the rotation, change the cursor around so we can do a different scale and translation for it, so it'll be easier to tell like which way the walls are rotating and stuff. I probably should do that. A full-on ghost of each model, I'm not 100% sure how I'd implement that easily, but at least a special thing for the cursors, like how we're doing for the larger building placements, would be helpful. Blown away by my engine? Wow, thanks. You could just rotate around all day on nothing and I'd be interested. A blend of WebGL and Canvas? Well, isn't WebGL Canvas anyway? Do you mean like Canvas 2D? Because WebGL is like always Canvas, I think, basically, right? All right, let me export this because I don't remember if I exported everything. And then maybe look at it in game. I don't know what else I want to change about this. Also, we don't need console open. That's the nice thing about this. We can see the full screen. I leave console open. I really shouldn't. This does pretty much everything I need right here. And then in my debug tool, or whatever this is, yeah, whatever we call it, I should have a button to open up the village editor from where we are instead of having to type in a command into console. Okay, let's go to the notes. I'm pretty sure I know what I want to do next. So I'm happy enough with the stairs. I'll write that this is like 90% done. The only last 10% that we could do if I wanted to was add the little stepping instead of it being a smooth ramp. But I'm gonna be done with this like for now. Move on to something else. And we also did sloped wall. I'm also gonna call that 90% done and not 100% because of my decision to have it so it's on center, so it could be on the like offset. It could be on the block next to it. But I don't know if that's the solution I want long term. So that final 10% would be deciding and then possibly changing how we do that. But fixed string lights, I want to do what else? Oh yeah, stop being lazy and do the placement IDs. The Y adjusts are also like 95% done. That was just like the tiered village stuff. The lanterns are also like 95% done. Not 95 because the off center ones, we'll say 80% done. Yeah, string lights. Oh, I had that written twice because I was supposed to do it the other day too. String lights, I need to do. Add yard block, add village decorations. Yeah, we need to do that. Smaller merchants, we need to add more types of those. More wall types. Okay. And then once we're done working on the outside stuff of the village, I want to work on the inside stuff of the village because inside the shops looks mostly shit right now. Okay. And now that that's exciting. Now that we have stairs and stuff working and I figured out the logic for that, I can have stairs inside and I kind of want that. I want to have like little tiers inside the shops as well. So a couple of stairs every now and then, go up higher, different things like that. That's super exciting. Okay. So we need to fix whatever the hell broke with village string lights. And I'm kind of confused how I ever had them working. I guess maybe I deleted a bunch of code for them. I'm not sure. But I would think they need a sub-entity passed through to them. Also, I really want to long-term batch those because they're going to be their own draw call, which is not the best. But I want to at least get them rendering. So if I do a hard refresh, okay, so these things here that look like telephone lines or something are supposed to have nice decorative lights hanging from them that will change seasonally. So like probably at this time of year, since we have all the Easter decorations up, I'd probably do like a bunch of multicolored pastel colored lights. I think that would look nice. Oh, we also have to fix the tree planter scale. Let's write that down so I don't forget. Fix tree planter scale. A menu level of the engine? Like these menus? Or apparently lags like this menu? At 2D level, mock 2D. Where the carrots are. Oh, like the main screen, the main splash screen. This thing that takes forever to fucking load. Okay, whatever. I was gonna load it to show up, but it's not loading. I don't care. What do you mean you want to work with it? You want to learn how it's done? It's just DOM elements. It's literally, it's like a bunch of shit code just pushing a bunch of different DOM elements and having like CSS animations on them. I'm so glad these staircases work. That's so fucking cool. I've never programmed anything like that in my life. This is the first time that I've ever done staircases, and it didn't even take that long. Yeah, pretty much all the UI stuff is DOM elements because I'm lazy, but it works out well doing it that way. Yeah, you want to do stuff like that in WebGL or Canvas 2D, right? I should be doing it probably. I should be doing it in I should be doing it in 2D WebGL probably. That'd make more sense. But every UI thing is just DOM elements. It's just so much easier. Okay, this village looks pretty good. I like it. I don't really like my trees at springtime, but I did make them a bit better because I had an issue where these little leaves at spring and autumn time, so they're not like the full leaves, these just little clumps, they weren't showing up. Somehow I flipped the back faces on them so they were backwards, so they were invisible all the time because they were being billboarded backwards. So I just flipped those and now it's working. I also want to make look at this at nighttime and just make sure the lanterns, I think I need to do some tweaks with the lanterns because they're a bit too bright. Yeah, it's like making the player glow more than I want it to. So some tweaks will have to go on with that as well. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it again. I know I already said it like 3 times, but man, these fucking stairs. I'm so proud of myself. Now, I've already made this decision basically, but we kind of have to do it again a little bit. Is I still have to fully decide if I'm okay with like the staircases right next to the door and stuff. There's like nothing to really land on, just like the doors right at the top of the stairs. I think I just have to be okay with it. I can maybe bring the stairs out more, like so they end earlier, so they're steeper, and then they would have more of a landing to them. I find it hard to stream because when I code, I sit there, stare at it for an hour with each update. I mean, yeah, I get that. I mean, right now, I'm kind of doing the same thing. I'm just walking around my village, not programming for at least a few minutes. I haven't programmed a single line of code for like 5 minutes at least. All right, let me fix string lights. I'm putting it off because I don't really fully know where to begin. Let's look at where string lights are. So this is for buffering them, which we want, but I'm just confused how I was ever doing this before. I wish I still had the old code. I figured what I was planning on this happening initially was me to just look at it and I was like, oh, there's the old code that was making that work. I just need to fix that. But instead, I can't even find the old code. So I might have just taken it out and deleted it. I try to even look in my my old Git commits to find where that old code is, like when I removed it. I can maybe try that again. But like, I don't know, it's weird. Let's do that real quick because I didn't look that hard. Because I would have thought there was a sub entity being passed through to this. Is there a file called stringlights? No. And if we go, like maybe all the code that needs to be here is here. I just don't understand how it worked. So if I go to search and I paste village stringlights in, and I don't want to search just messages, I want to search file changes. It's really slow to do that though, which sucks. Let's look at if there's a village file on here. What one is this commit from? That's the most recent one. We don't want that. They broke in longer ago because this is all the way back from December 2018. And at that time, we probably should have had the string lights working because that was Christmas time and we had Christmas string lights up. How many arts have you made and stared at for hours and hours and then end up just deleting a month later? Why delete them? Don't delete them. Maybe don't use them, but at least like have backups so you can go back and look at your old stuff. I wish I had better backups of this game. I mean, I do have some, but I wish I had more and better ones. At least I'm now using Git, so I can, in theory, restore from an old one, but I don't know how to do that really without deleting my current one. But one day we can look through like all the Git versions of the game. But I have older versions before I was using Git as well. So don't delete them. I'm the only one that stared at it? What do you mean? You guys just stared at the stream. Well, probably a lot of people have this on in the background, but still. Okay, so let's look at this commit, right? So this is going to have village in here. There's nothing different about village, though. We have village string lights here, but is there a way to look at this file in this version without like having to restore it or anything? Does anybody here know how Git works? Oh, that's for entity. Yeah, I would like to look at this. This entire file without restoring it. So I have reverse file. I don't think I want that. I just want to like download this version of the file. There's custom actions, copy path, open selected version. I'm a little afraid to do that, but let's try it. Maybe I should do a commit before I do this. Okay, well that gave me an error. That's Windows' fault. Yeah, I know I should commit. That should be what we need to do is open selected version. That should work. It's just Windows is really dumb. I like to live dangerously. That's totally it. Like that's the temporary file it's creating. That's what we need to do. But like whatever stupid shit Windows is having problem with, because Windows is the worst operating system in the world, is preventing me from doing what I want to do. I really want to look at this. All right, it's fine. And now that I know it's in village entity and not village's other thing, we can look at string lights in here, maybe. Okay, it's fine. I'll look at it in here. I would have liked to look at it, but it would have been similar to this. Okay, so in theory, this is what's going on. I don't know if it's detecting this, so I'm gonna log this. We could pass a sub entity through instead, and that should work. Yeah, there's lots of different things that we need to change about this. Our chunk size 7, start x 42, chunk size. Chunk size is the static chunk size. Yeah, there's some weird shit about this. I want to batch these as well. That's weird. Yeah, this whole thing needs to be rewritten. That's why it's not fucking working. In theory, we can just use the actual world coordinates, and get rid of some of this shit code here, and get village placements will return the right things now. And we just need to make sure that our stringlets would need to be the first one, unless we loop through it. We could do some interesting stuff with this, but and that's choosing rotations and stuff. Okay. Okay, so at least I kind of know what's happening with this, and I guess since placements, it would never be the first one with how I'm currently doing my placements, then that's an issue. Now I can either make sure it's always first, which isn't that hard. That should be fairly okay to do. I don't really want to redo it though. We can make sure it's first or second, or we can do a proper for loop for all the placements. Let's see, is there an easy way to do like an index of within like subarrays without having to do a bunch of for loops? So basically it would look like this, right? We'd have an array that looks something like this. It's kind of random, right? It's not the exact values, but something like this, right? So we have an array here, an array with 3 values here, array with 2 values, array with 1 value, right? Is there an easy way to kind of do like an index of? So normally if we just had, 21, whatever, and then we did index of 78 or whatever, then it would, it would return that was at index 2, right? 0, 1, 2. Now instead, I want to do index of, but it's checking for the first value in all of these arrays. I'm just gonna have to build a custom function for that. There's like no built-in way with JavaScript, or like a one-liner in JavaScript to do that, right? Where instead it's an index of, and we want to call like 20, well, 34, whatever, it doesn't matter, and then it will return that. The AFK for a bit. I hope I don't miss much. Okay, I mean, you probably won't miss anything too important. My streams never have anything too important, and I do things extremely slowly. And it'll always be in the past broadcast, but okay. So I kind of know where this is breaking. I don't need to look at it in commit and get whatever it's called. I mean, this probably isn't even getting the placement correctly. Nutty array work you're doing. I mean, kind of, I guess, but the first value is the ID. The second value is the rotation, and the third value is the elevation. And we're not passing all of those all the time because it's just extra, like, it's just going to increase our file size, right, to store those layouts. So if it doesn't have rotation and it doesn't have an elevation, then just pass one thing. If it doesn't have elevation, but it does have rotation, then just pass 2 things, I think it's a fairly efficient way to do it. We want to keep file size down. I probably could compress them even more, and I probably should, and I probably will, but I think it's not that bad. So I'm curious if this is even getting it ever. So I'm gonna like do some real shit code for a second. So I'm gonna say, or there is a placement at index 1 and that placement is 20. I just want to see if this even detects it. And we'll maybe even go a bit further with it and do the next one. I mean, this is obviously shit code. But it's hopefully just going to be left there for debugging purposes and then hopefully removed, and I won't be stupid about it. All right, let's, I guess, refresh. You want something like arrays, map, array, index of, yeah, probably. To create an array of index of results from your 2D array. Yeah, that would probably work. So then we can detect. All right, so if I did this here, let me just have that written down here, probably commented out, right? Because we're not actually using it, but it would be index of 20, and then our arrays would be our. I mean, you have to leave, or did you already come back, right? I'll have to ask you later, because I think maybe you're already back. I don't know. Oh, you said you had to AFK. I thought you were saying you have to AFK. I'm bad at reading. Okay. So what do we do here? So let me show what these are, right? So our placements returns an array like this, right? Something along these lines. So it's an array of arrays, and they're different values and everything, but essentially I want to check. So like this is obviously just pseudocode, but I'm just showing what could be in these, right? All different things. I won't use 20 here. We'll use 15 here. Okay. And we'll do one more. Whatever. So that's our array, right? And I want to basically check if the first value in any of these subarrays, right, is 20. So we would do placements here. So placements map this, and it would index of the first, or index any of these. So if this ever returns 0 in any of them, but it's going to return an array of all the results. Is that what it's going to do? So it's going to return 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, or actually -1. It would actually be this one, wouldn't it? Because it's index of. I could do index of plus 1. Yeah, you know, if I did index of plus 1, that'd probably be better for my uses. And then we filter that to just get 1. Okay, hold on. But we still need that. We still need that index of thing, right? Or no, we don't even need the index of thing. Just that. And that will return. What does that return? That returns the entire array. That would return this. And then if we had other ones that were 20, you know, if we did, then it would return the next one. This would be the returned result. I mean, I could test it, but. Huh. Cool. All right. Oh, so would it actually be, this would be like that. So even if there's one result, it would still be within an array. So I'd still have to, if I was using it, I'd still have to do index 0. Okay. All right. So that's cool. I should be doing that probably in a lot of places. And we don't need to change like R or anything because that's being used in there. Huh. And that's each one, and then it, okay. I mean, that's fucking cool. Thanks, Skinny Guy. I should learn I should learn all those array filters and maps and stuff, shouldn't I? That returns the array. So it's going to return an empty array anyway. So this would actually result in something, right? Because if we say if array, even if it's empty, that still results in true, right? So we would, I guess, just want to see if it's in, I guess, any of the values. Let's define it. Var placement is this, and then we'll say if placement, and then instead of placement at index 0, it's returning the array itself. We're forcing it to always be the first result, but that's fine. Let's see where else we were doing placement 0. Okay, hopefully that was only 2 places. Okay. That's so cool. I should be doing array filters way more often. I hope they're like efficient. It shouldn't matter that much. This is inside the constructor. I don't think it'll matter that much if it's not super efficient, and I don't think the placements array is that large, so it should be okay. So I could even make this a one-liner by doing that. Yeah, that's probably fine. And I'm just gonna put a little note here. Checks if placement ID 20, which is our string lights, is in placements. Whoops. Well, that's really cool. Thank you, Kenny Guy. Hopefully I didn't miss too much in chat. You can use placements find. What's the difference? Oh, if you're expecting only one result. And that won't break if there's more than one. It will just return like the first one, I guess. I'm not. It's good to keep in mind. I'll put that down in commented out. I might want to do a for loop though through all the results, because we might end up having more than one placement on one tile. Am I already looping through placements? No, I'm not. All right, so I'll have this here commented out. This is for only one. Right, okay, cool. I'll use filter for now and just force one, just so I have that code there. Obviously, forcing it to only return the first index is kind of the same thing as this, but less efficient. But I'm going to leave this because I probably will want to end up looping through all the placements. And then what is this shit doing? This is for placement. Oh, this is if there's no rotation, I guess. I don't actually know what this extra conditional is for. I don't think we're doing this. That was if we were spawning, and I don't know why we were even spawning them by them. Those for spawning NPCs for some weird reason. Okay, so I guess this is ready to test out. The scale is probably way off and things need to be changed, but I just want to see if we can see them in the game. Again, you guys are always so smart with how to use JavaScript properly and do cool array filters and finds and whatever the other one's called. Okay. So far we still don't see them, but I'm gonna console log. I think I know why that is. I'm pretty sure this bit up here about getting okay, the X and Z are probably wrong. Yeah. Okay. So in theory, we don't even need to pass through a proper X and Z anymore. We can just use world space and just loop through it. Let's see if that improves it. And we'd be going off of, it doesn't actually really matter, but these entities should be hopefully the size of static, which it looks like they are. So we would start at position X and position Z, and then we would end at position X plus our chunk size, which I think we're defining somewhere, I thought, but maybe that was in the code that I just deleted. Let me see. Yeah. All right. Var chunk size, and I want to log that and make sure it's not doubled, which I don't think it is. Yeah, I gotta look into those errors. Okay, it's the right size. Yeah, I wish I enjoyed it too, Kenny Guy, but I don't. I'm like an old man, just like to stick in his old ways and not learn anything new, which is terrible. I know it's like the worst thing in the world. All right, let's see if that improves things. And in theory, even village function. We don't even need to pass through this anymore. but I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so still not doing great, but we can console log and see what's being detected and what's not. Let's just gonna spam the absolute shit out of console, but let's just log this. Maybe I should do it within the conditional. Yeah, let's first, before I spam too much, let's see if this part's firing, and then if this part's not firing, let's log all the placements and see what it's getting. Yeah, it's rewarding. You know what's also rewarding? Having people in Twitch chat tell you how to do everything and not having to think for yourself. And then have magical bits of code pop up to you as you're programming, and they just work. All right, so here, I guess we'll just log placement. And then if that's not logging, we'll log the absolute shit ton of log messages that is going to like make Chrome want to kill itself. Okay, so in theory, that's not logging, right? There's nothing that says line 41. Which village.js is this? Oh, that's entities. Oh, whoops. But if it's getting to, wait, if it's getting to that line, that's after the console message, is it not? Oh, maybe it's not. That's a separate conditional. Right. Should have looked at that sooner. That should probably go inside of there. I don't even know. That's if it's a road, right? Yeah, this is if road. And that's a different placement filter we would use. Which is why maybe we just want to get, well, we can have this stored as a separate thing. Var placements is this. Then we're filtering through placements, and we'll do the same thing here to filter if there's a road on that block. But I don't really even want to use this conditional at all. I don't think. But this is if there's a road. And then if there is a placement and spawn it 40% of the blocks, then we spawn an NPC on them. I guess that's fine, but it's not going to do anything because, we have that all disabled. All right, let's refresh and see if this works. Here's a random question. It's not that random. It is pertinent to this thing, but can you call the constructor again? Can you just say like .constructor and call it? So if I found that entity in the entities array. Okay, so it's not finding certain things. I gotta figure that out. But instead of having to refresh, I could find that entity and call like .constructor. Is that a thing that's allowed? Or is that only allowed to fire once? Because the stuff that I'm testing is inside the constructor. Let's see. I mean, yeah, it is a prototype. Do I have to like type prototype.constructor and call it, or what? Right. If we look at how that was written, well, it has prototypes on it, right? So each one is a new one, and then we define a prototype constructor and do these different things on it. Can we just, do I call it as just dot constructor? Do I say dot prototype dot constructor? Can I just not call it again? Is it supposed to be a one time thing? If I try my u.get nearest entity, what does that return? I'm just curious. Not what I want it to. If I stand in a different place. I don't know where that chunk is lined, but it needs to be called with new, so you can't do that. You can't just keep calling constructor and having the code fire again. Which I guess I might not even really want, because I probably wouldn't be passing through properties, but I guess the properties would already be assigned, so it wouldn't be that bad. In theory? No, I don't know how that would work. Whatever. All right, whatever. I'll just keep refreshing until I have a better solution. I mean, I could move this into a prototype function for testing purposes. You know, I can say like a new prototype and just say, you know, false constructor, right? And that would work, but and just have my constructor code in there and call that. But I don't know. All right, so it's not logging. So let's move up where we want to be logging. So this is probably going to spam quite a bit. So let me just like have like this here so I can see if it logs, just in case I'm missing something. And then here, I'll just put a different number on here or something, just so I know where things are logging from, and I don't have to like look at the line numbers and stuff. Yeah, I mean, I'm using classes in some places, but in this particular instance, I don't think this one is using the ES6 classes, so maybe I could recall it. Cool. Good to know. I'm not going to do it yet anyway. So much blur. What you're working on, or what I'm doing? What's blurry? Constructor apply my object. Huh. So that's like calling it again with putting the what, I don't know, whatever. Okay, so that's logging. And it is detecting some positions, so that's good. Most positions it's not detecting. And then some they are, but that's not even positions that, oh, that is a position I would expect. Okay, so it's finding some things, which is good. It's just not finding placing 20s. Now, maybe 20 is the wrong ID. Maybe I changed it since then, but I didn't think I did. Oh, I did. Shit. Okay. Well, that's one of the issues. Maybe that's all we need to do. The placements and the scales are probably still going to be way off, but let's refresh. All right, thanks for letting me know that kind of guy. So if I can't solve all my issues soon, and I don't want to keep refreshing, I'll have to try to find them inside console and call the constructor again. Just finding the entity is going to be a bit of a pain though, so I don't want to do that if I don't have to do that. Okay, so it's logging. That's good. Very good. It found 3 of them. And that would be the rotation on some of them. Okay, so why did it find 3 but not like a bunch of them? And here's some of them. Okay, so it's somewhat working. So here is what we're looking for, right? You see these glowing balls of light? That's our string lights. They're supposed to be attached to all of these wires. But at least it is detecting them, not really in the right place, but it is detecting them a little bit now. Also, they're going to eventually get billboarded. I have to do that so they're not perfectly flat and look like shit. Okay, it's finding them. It's not bad. It's kind of working. It's not finding enough of them. Oh, well, doing plus equals 7. Let's do plus equals 4. That might be enough. Right, that would make sense that it would not find them. They'd still probably be offset, but I was kind of expecting that because I changed the scale on them and everything. Let's just see what happens with this. We should also have a variable stored of our unit size for our layouts. We probably already do, because I made it, excuse me, tired. I made it the same size as block size now, so everything aligns correctly. So we could probably just call like our global block size thing on there. And it probably would just work instead of having to put a magic number in there. Apply calls a function with a provided execution environment. By calling it with the object, what you're saying is that this keyword reference in the function is acting on the environment, the object you passed in. Similar to bind. Yeah, I know bind. I use bind. Okay. All right, cool. Thanks. All right, so let's detect it, at least more of them. In fact, maybe all of them. I don't know. It still seems a little low. But it's detecting them. And it might actually be in kind of the right spot. Maybe we just need to change the scale of the model to be the same scale of the base of the string lights. Right, so if we look at the models for these, this is supposed to be 4/7. Just grab all of this. I think it's being rewritten, so we shouldn't need to do this, or quite as much, but let's do this. Let's rebuffer the model in line and see if this helps with the alignment. I'll be staring at them a little bit to figure out this. So we're going to call buffer model. Well, what was the scale I was doing for 8/7? Let's see if it magically works with 8/7 now. Why is it not like the other? Oh, maybe because I'm scaling on the Y too. Yeah. I think the way I'm doing the scale on the other one is vec3 4/7, and then on the Y we're keeping it as 1, and then on the other axis 4/7. I think that's probably what I was doing. I'm surprised it would make it like go underground, which is seemingly what it did, but I don't know. Okay. We still have to redo the model because that's not the correct solution, but it looks like other than changing the height based off the elevation of it, oh, it still is a bit offset. All right. It's not detecting all of them still. I might have an idea of why that might maybe be happening. This one is aligned, maybe. No, it's off by 1 still. Okay. All right, there's some stuff we got to figure out this. It doesn't look like any of them are rotating. Or maybe it's detecting the rotate. I don't know, that's rotated differently, right? Yeah, that one's rotated. All right, at least we're finding them and it's doing something. I guess if we have more than one on the same block, that could be causing some of them not to be detected. I wouldn't think it'd be this many, but maybe I have a lot on the same block. So we're going to loop through placements. Okay, so we're not going to, I have to like rename this. This is our like, I'll call it our string lights. And then if we have string lights 0, right? Because we need to check if there's any in there. If we just call if string lights, that'll be an empty array, and I think an empty array results to true, I think. Not actually sure of that, but I feel like it does. I guess I'll leave that console message in there. We want to loop through these. So for var, and it's of, right, for array. So it's for var, we'll say string light of string lights. That's another thing Kenny guy taught me. Pretty sure it was him, like just last week. I'm learning so much, Kenny guy. All thanks to you. Okay, so then that's string light of string lights, and then where we were originally doing placements, which is maybe just there, but we also are going to change the elevation of it. Oh, that's true, but I would just want to say, okay, so I can do either if there's one or true, but I can't just say if string lights, right? Right. If we do just if array, that's true. But then if I say equals true, then that's false. So I can do it either way. It doesn't make a difference. I kind of prefer this. I don't really know why. That probably makes less sense, but what I want to do is just if string lights. Why do I need that if? You know what? You're right. Fuck. You're right. Wait. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I needed it before I was doing the for loop, and then I added the for loop. So it made sense at a time, okay? All right, so that's our string light rotation. And I don't know what this rotation thing is even doing. And if we got to change where the pivot point is and change the amounts, probably do. That might be where that weird offset is coming from. But I want to do stuff with the elevation adjust. So we want to also say, plus our string light at 2 or 0. Okay, let's refresh and see what happens. Is it possible that that conditional I had, Guinea Guy, is a little, like, I don't think this is the case, but it's a little bit more efficient because it's before running the for loop. I guess the for loop built in does that anyway, but like kind of like, you know, just like checking for it before we try to loop through it is more efficient now. No? Okay. All right, so these are kind of weird values coming through. Some of them make sense. The undefineds don't make sense to me. I gotta figure that out. Why would, hold on. What are we logging? Oh, I'm logging placement. Okay, we don't want to do that. We want to log string light. Since the loop acts as a conditional. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't doing that to optimize it. I wasn't doing it because I thought that's the right thing to do. I only did that because we had the conditional, because we weren't looping through it, so we needed the conditional. And then I added the for loop. I was just asking if there was a chance that it was better. Not that, like, that's my normal thing to go to doing, is like always do a conditional before you do a for loop. No, I don't do that. I'm not that bad. Could you imagine if somebody did that? Which is probably something I do sometimes. But if somebody always did that, they always had a conditional to see if there was something in the array and then loop through it. I say that, and there's probably like 10 different places in my engine that I'm doing exactly that. All right, so the elevation adjust is working. It's still not sensing all of them. I guess I want to log our X and Z values and see if they're all there. That's going to be pretty spammy in console. They should be, right? There shouldn't be any issues with floating point stuff, I don't think. Because this should convert it into like that integer that we need anyway. I wish I could open up, and I probably have it somewhere. I wish I could open up like really, really old versions of my code when I don't even know how old, but really young. Like before I knew anything, and like, oh my God, I wish I could explain what I was doing. Like everything was one big function, which I'm still doing. Like 15 years later, I still am doing giant functions. But no, like I can't even remember what I didn't know how to do, but like I think I like didn't even, I wish I knew. I wish I could find those files. I just remember doing everything so manually. I think I didn't know how for loops worked. So I like pasted it, which I still do sometimes too if I'm being lazy, but like I would just like do every single one as its own thing, just copy paste it like 100 times if I needed to loop through something 100 times and adjust each value. Oh my God. How far I've come. You got to keep in mind, I started programming when I was 12, so it's not like I was like 20 and doing stupid shit like that. I was 12, so it's a little more excusable. Okay, so what do we want to log? I don't know what I want to log. In theory, the X and Z's, but those should be fine. When I have worked with clients, I have seen some terrible code so bad I have denied work. Yeah, I've been through that. Usually, I'll only take on the project if they let me just rewrite everything. I won't use old shitty code. I'll just let them know it's better off for everyone because it saves them money too. Because if I try to work with that old shitty code, it's going to take me longer and I'm going to have to charge them more. So it's better to just rewrite. And usually that that ends up being fine with them because most of the time they know that their old versions are shitty and out of date and terrible. And it's usually like a lot of my clients, they have like their websites that are built like by like their nephew or whatever, like their friend's nephew or something, and like some shit like that. And like it's like somebody that doesn't really know how to program, but they were just asking for a favor and probably did it really cheap, but then I guess they grew big enough to need a proper website or something, and then I just scrap all that shit and make something new. I'm still doing all global variables, getting I've never learned the amount of global variables. Is it? You know what? There's a way to look at that, right? We could look at window. Should we do this? Should we do object keys window and see how many things? I mean, some of those will be, built in. But hold on, object keys dot window. That'll be. I think that's right, right? Let's just look at the length for a second, and then I'll look at the length in like an empty tab. 712. Now let's look at that length in an empty tab and see how many of those are in just JavaScript, right? I mean, this is not really necessarily empty, but 213. So like 500 global variables. 500 global variables. That's embarrassing. Yeah, well, I got some really old shitty files in this engine, okay, that never got updated. And I'm still doing it. I mean, like always. So wait, hold on. These count as in window, right? If I could find it, wherever the hell I'm doing that. Hold on. Not this file. Okay, so like this. That's in window, right? When I do, well, not necessarily that, because I'm doing var function. But if you do, let's see where I'm doing it. I think I'm doing it in this file function. Okay, so like function is village. That window.isVillage thing is a thing, right? Window.isVillage. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so like I'm doing it everywhere. This should be, like our village dot is or something. It should be in some sort of global object and not just floating around. Layout IDs here. There's like a million of them that I'm still doing. At least here I have it inside the game object. That's like one good thing I'm doing. But even that shouldn't be game.village objects. It should be game.village.layouts, instead of game.village.layouts. I need to organize so much shit. And then it should be game.village.getSeed, game.village.getLayoutID, game.village.getBlockType. But, laziness. And then, once you started it, it's hard to like change it because like you just want to continue with what the hell's here and not like take the time to like organize it. But one day I will I will clean up some of those. It's actually nice that, I don't have to like go through all my files. I can like look through here and see, like it at least hints at like some of my terrible things. Yeah. I mean, I know about like all of these. They just need to be put into some objects. It's not that bad. I mean, yeah, it's really bad. Don't get me wrong, but at least like it won't be that hard to fix. It really won't. All right. What's going on with these string lights? I'm trying to figure out what I want to log for them. We can filter our entire array to find how many are in here, and then we can look at how many get logged out, right? How many it's discovering versus how many it's in the layout. So if I did our village layouts, here's another fucking global object. Our village layouts at index 0, and if we ran that filter on it, how do we do that? Why does that not work? What does it look like? Oh, because it's not an array. Fuck, I forgot. I'd have to convert that into an array. Oh, it sucks. I would just have to build something. I just have to build a for loop for the object to log it out. I could do that because I am curious how many we have of each thing to see how many it's detecting. Because it could be detecting all of them. I'm just not seeing them, but it's detecting them. I can count them manually. Okay. Yeah, I forgot these are objects, not arrays. Probably should convert them into arrays. It doesn't really matter though. All right, I'm gonna take like a quick 5-minute break to go to the bathroom. So I'll be back in a couple minutes, guys. First, on that BR back screen, I gotta make it look pretty. I'm gonna make that look pretty, but you're not gonna be able to hear me. I'm gonna make it look like the same as this screen. And then I'm gonna go to the bathroom. And then I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Well, what I want to do for those BRB screens and stuff is I want to have the bouncing text like or the floating text, but I think the bouncing text would look better. Why is it so hard for me to load the game in a second tab? I don't understand. It's fine in one tab, but if I have a second tab, what if I do a different incognito window? Would that help? Not really. But you know, a little one where each letter bounces after the next. You know what I'm talking about. And the loading text. That's what I want to have on the BRBs. Yeah, so if I have this, I gotta do this. So either this floating text, which is very, very subtle, but these letters, you know, are subtly. Well, that's the word I want. Subtly, it's hard to say that. Drifting around, or that bouncing, where it goes, you know. You know, it's really slutty letters. I want to put either of those animations on there. But you know, I don't like to take the time to actually do these things. I like to be lazy and do them really quick, and I don't want to program all that. So, yeah. Bounce off the corner. Okay. So yeah, what the hell's going on with this stuff? What do I want to be doing? I was gonna try to look at how many there were, but then I decided that was a bit more difficult than I thought. So like, what's going on with this? It kind of sometimes knows where they are, but also most of the time doesn't. A lot of them are just off by one. This one is off by I don't even know where it belongs. Part of that is probably due to this rot thing. In theory, if they're modeled in the same places, we shouldn't need to do that. We should just be able to rotate this. Oh, we're moving the rotation. Why? We're flipping it 180 degrees. But either way, it's still not finding all of them. There are not as many of these light bulbs as there are wires. So I'm guessing based off that rotation. Let's get rid of this code here. I don't want that anymore. That should be the rotation. Let's throw. Ooh, this might not always be here. Let's say this or 0. That could be resulting in non-number, because that's not always passed through to that. So that could be some of the issue. Hopefully, a lot of the issue. Hopefully. I don't know if we need this, but I don't want it. Communism for wires? What? I don't understand why you would say that. What did I say that made you think of communism with these wires? What did I say? Did I say wires? Oh, like wires for all or something? What did I say? Light bulbs for all the wires. So maybe this conditional will help a lot of things, because maybe that was resulting in non-number for some of them. What just happened? Why did that window close? What fuck? What combination of keys did I press for Windows to close that window? I didn't press Control W. I don't think I did. I fooled you all. The official lore of Finland is that everyone is living under a communist dictatorship. Except that doesn't really make sense because the whole goal is very capitalistic where you have to buy and sell things. Okay, so I made it worse, maybe? Maybe? It's very strange. Good nighttime. I guess we just have to log a bunch of stuff. I just don't know exactly what I want to log. At least it's detecting them, but like in the worst possible way. Ooh, it started to snow. I don't want snow. And it'd be nice if we can test this in the village editor tool, but I can't because they're entities. They're not part of the buffer. It's a completely separate thing. I can try to put them inside the editor tool, but it's not like really that easy at all. What is, okay, man. Windows is so confusing sometimes. Okay, I mean, part of this could be that the model's on the right place, but I don't think that's the case. Maybe we want to put this back, but I don't think we want that either. So rotation is that or 0. Our elevation is that or 0. This might get offset, but whatever. That barely matters. We could do something a bit stupid and loop through every single... Yeah, you know, I'm just curious. Let's loop through every single block. And let's also make sure these are always integers. I know there's not really integers in JavaScript and all that, but basically saying I want to round them. Okay, let's see if either of these things are an improvement. We don't want to really be doing any of these things long term, but you know, if this fixes things, then it gives me an idea of, you know, how to fix them properly. Goal from it should be to liberate the workers of the world by allowing the people to obtain the means of production and overthrow the, I don't even know how to say that word, business owners after buying a nice hat from them. Okay, well, I guess that makes sense that it would do 4 of them now. But yeah, it's not a technical problem. So this is not the issue. That is not the issue at all. At all. So then, for the number of communism. I don't know why this doesn't work. And we basically know this function works because we're using the same function to detect everything for the player. Like the player is properly detecting the staircases and the different elevations, and all of that is working. And we can just go to this and make sure we're like doing basically the same thing. Yeah. Oh, we are doing this though. And we are doing that weird offset to one thing. So we should make a function that does this for us. But I suppose we'll throw this in. We want to use X and Z. And we have that weird offset one thing. And then we want to use this village.xz in quite a few places until we can rewrite it. We probably should just redefine what X and Z are. But I guess until I know this is a solution that works, we'll do it this way. All right, hopefully I'm rewriting all the places where we have X and Z. Okay. Maybe down here? No. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why we have to do this special bit of code. I guess it's doing some sort of conversion into village space. I don't even think some of this makes sense. Oh, maybe it does. I don't know. It doesn't matter. We want to get rid of that one day. I'll just write shit code. Figure out why the next, how many lines? 4 lines are needed, and fix this shit. Okay. Does it fix anything really? Not really. Did I refresh? Maybe I didn't refresh. I felt like I did. I don't remember. Still not really working. It does fix the alignment on a couple of them. This one's like perfectly aligned. I know I need to fix the whole 2D-ness of it, but it fixes that one. But then like all of the other ones. And I can try to log them in console to see if I'm standing in the right spot, but like I don't really know where to stand. Let's put this in console. And we'll console.log placements. This is all just stuff for console. Okay, so that gives us 2 positions, and I guess that's the ground and the wall. So I'm not standing in the right tile. What is this error? Did I break everything? Hopefully not. I don't want certain things logging that are still logging, but whatever. Oh, this fucking Chrome lag spikes, man. And it's kind of weird. They don't seem to happen that bad on my laptop, but they happen bad. Okay, so here's this. Let's run that filter on our placements and see if it returns the same thing, which it should. So that's part of here. We want to filter the array. Hold on 1 second. We want to filter the array, and see if this returns those same values that we're expecting. It does. Array of 22, 2, and 3. And that string length, so if we had a for loop, that should definitely then run through that because there's a value in there, right? It's an array with one thing in it, so it should just do one thing, right? And that should do all these things. If we have a string length, then we detect it. We detect the rotation on it, otherwise set to 0. We detect the elevation on it, otherwise set it to 0. And then create an entity. So it's the detection that's still wrong, but I don't know. Maybe, no. Maybe we're not looking through enough stuff. I wonder how big these village entities are. Maybe they're not the size I thought they were. Maybe we have fewer of these. Let's see where we're creating these. So this is on static or village model data. Maybe these are twice the size. Yeah, they could be, because let's check 5. If that's a low LOD thing, we only got a quarter of those because it's yeah. Yeah. Okay. So here we'd want to do chunk size times 2. I don't think this will fix everything still, because we still have like weird offset stuff that makes no sense. But I think we'll detect all of them, just maybe not in the right places. Maybe that's where we have to do that rotation thing. In fact, that's probably why I did have that rotation thing. Maybe that will fix it. Okay, let's try this again. I really hope this fixes it. Now, when we do have LODs on villages, because right now we don't really have that properly done, things may have to change a little bit. I don't think they will so much. Okay, cool. I think that just works. Yeah. Cool. We have string lights back. So the whole reason I want to have these is I want to know. Get rid of this rain and snow. I want to know if I made way too many, because as I was building this layout, I was feeling like I'm putting down way too many of these string lights, and we should really just have, like, you know, half of what we have or something, and not spam them down so much. I'm pretty sure that is the case, because I mean there's a lot, so we probably don't want this many. It would probably be better if I changed the color of them to get a little bit better feel of what they look like with the different decoration stuff. I might make my time of year like, I don't know, Christmas time or something with Christmas lights, to really know how I'm gonna feel about it, because I don't know, maybe we want to have, so this might look really cool at Christmas time with like a bunch of Christmas lights going all over the town. Where's that line that we're logging? That's in player, right? Yeah, I left that there. We also don't need to define player, but I'm doing that so I can easily grab it in console. All right, and these lights are supposed to be billboarding, but that's not an issue right now. They're fine being flat. But I did want to, well, they're working, so that's good. I wanted to know if this is too many, and it's kind of hard to tell. I mean, It is too many, but like, what if these were Easter lights? What if they were Halloween lights? What if they were Christmas lights? Maybe that wouldn't be so bad. Well, here is not bad. Like, just this view isn't too lit up. Here, maybe a bit too much. Let's make it Christmas time. To do that, though, we also have to go into this file, and then right. I think I left it off with Christmas lights. I think so. This is green, blue, orange, red. I think we're using those. So if I just get rid of where we're overwriting this, and in theory, we can just put this right in console and rebuffer it to get Christmas lights. If I just throw this back in, I don't know why the scale. Hold on. Is that scale right? Okay, we need to redo the scale on the other one as well. Okay, so now we grabbed all this. This should give us Christmas cloud lights, and then I need to, I guess, rebuffer the world to get the actual Christmas decorations and stuff, but so we want to call buffer model on that. Yeah, okay. So I'm not going to put like the decorations in, but I want to see if these weren't just bright white lights, if this is a bit better. And it is. It's a bit better. They're not so in your face. Yeah, and that's why we have those camera culling issues on the village like that, is because they're double the size they're supposed to be. So it's not expecting something that big. So it gets cold a little bit too early. Yeah, it's hard to know exactly how many string lights I should be spawning in, because I kind of like them. Maybe I should make them Easter colored. I'd have to figure out the colors I want. I'd probably use the same colors as this. I mean, these are already like almost Easter colored if they were just a little bit more pastel-y. They're really supposed to be Christmas lights, but you know, what's the difference? They're just multicolor lights. And even for like the year-round stuff, I probably wouldn't make them as white. I'd probably make them a softer white, like a more yellowy, paley white. But I just wish. What do you guys feel? Is this just way too many lights? Way too many string lights? Should there be like half of these? Because it's hard for me to say. I need outside input. Or does it kind of just look cool and good, and it's like it's fine to have a whole lot? Also, it's probably gonna look worse during the daytime, so I guess I'll show you it in daytime. But that's gonna make people hate it more. Seems fine. Maybe I should make them look a bit more organized, not so randomly spawned about. I don't know. How many draw calls do we have? Because we have like a lot of extra draw calls right now. It's not that bad. The poly count is kind of bad, but the draw calls, I mean, it's kind of bad, but it's not terrible. Tiny bit less to feel less repetitive. Okay. I think maybe, yeah, maybe the amounts. Okay, let's go into the village builder. But I want to change something about my village builder because it's really hard to tell for the string lights to see where they're spawned at. I want to go into the models file, and then for like my not this one, or I guess this one, for my ecosphere and stuff, I want to build in some rotations for those. so they'll work for certain shaders and stuff and certain placements. Where do I have a rotations needed? Okay, so for low poly icosphere, I want it for my regular icosphere. I don't know if I need any of these. I don't even know what double-sided icosphere is. I guess it has back faces as well. Bring that in. I want it the same for my debug cube and my regular cube. Because sometimes I want to use these and then they break because they don't have the built-in rotations that it expects. Let's grab just the icosphere for console. Okay, paste this in, and then I want to bring up the village builder tool thing. And then on the block that we are creating the lights, I want to have a little circle, just a little indicator of where that one is at. So that's part of this file for the string lights. And I need a conditional that says, I think it's like if, I forget what the conditional is, layout, if layout.active. Then we will buffer a little circle to show where it's at. So if layout.active, then we will add a like make this a bit easier to look at what the hell's going on. I don't think we really need rotations on it, but I'm not really sure. I'll leave them on. Okay, but then here we're gonna just do icosphere. And then if we paste this in, we should, as soon as we rebuffer our tile, we should see those little indicator circles. I don't know if I put them in the right spot. Yeah, I did. Okay. So those are just little indicators to know where to delete these. I'm probably going to make them a bit smaller. But now I know if I want to delete one of these string lights, there's one on this block, because it's really hard to know what block they were created on. Okay. So, I should, I'm accidentally spamming the ever-loving shit out of console. And it's a bit, the easiest way to undo that is just to refresh, and I don't really want to do that. All right. Yeah, so the scale's a bit too big. How am I passing through scales? Could I just do a number? Does it need to be a vec3 or what? All right, that a vec3 looks like it should work. So we'll pass that through here. Let's just do like, I don't know, 0.25. And then I can go through this layout. Unexpected identifier. What did I do? I didn't put a comma. That's what I did. And then if we put this in here and rebuffer, yay, okay. Yeah, I just want a little tiny thing to just show what I'm looking at. Okay, so I will go through this layout and delete ones that I feel are too dense. So now they're still a little bit guessy of which one I have to do, but it's way less guessy. Okay, so that's not bad. Yeah, like these areas I didn't love. Whoops. Put this one back. And we can put the road back. It's a little bit less of them, right? So that's going to be for village string lights. And I should do something with the placement cursor so it's a little bit more obvious which way things are rotated, but it's not that important. All right. Yep, these I do not like how dense they are. Probably that one. Nope. This one. Yep. And then I guess we'll do this one. I think this will be an improvement. It's not quite as crazy. Up here, I'm going to change how it works up here. I wish this aligned. It doesn't look like it's going to. I mean, I can kind of, can't really. I was gonna say I could kind of force it to align, but by making like the staircase wider or something, I could still kind of do that. Yeah, and then it would align on this side better. I mean, you would get rid of, I think, this one? No, or was there already one on this tile? Yes, okay. Yeah, I think I will make the staircase wider. Let's see how this would align. No, it wouldn't. Maybe I won't make the staircase wider. Maybe I'll just say, you know, that's symmetrical enough. Oh, we used to have that straight wall, but now that slope, that doesn't really work. That's fine. I think this will be a bit better. The ones all the way up here, I still don't love. But I think this is an improvement at least. Maybe I don't like this one either. Maybe it's okay. All right, let's export that model or layout. And then maybe we'll just look at it in game and then we'll do something else. Let me look at my list of shit. Maybe I'll just make a new layout. Last time I tried to do that on stream, I deleted it by accident. But now, hopefully, with the new tool, with the nice export button, I won't fuck something up stupid. All right, so we fixed Streamlights. That's like 75% done because I'm not doing the billboarding on them yet. We had to fix our tree planter scale, right? I guess I will do that now. So that would be in Blender. Do I really want to do this now? I don't know. Yeah, there is a bit of concern that how I'm doing these walls now, they can more easily clip through things now because they're not held within that tile. So I still might redo how I do walls, so they're always within the tile. Then just have two different wall slopes to choose from. Yeah, I might have to do that because like it's not so bad for this building, but you can see like the back half of that building that's supposed to have these like, you know, legs or stilts or whatever you want to call them, that's being clipped through now, and it will only get like this one's pretty bad. That one's even worse. It's only going to get worse with different types of models. This one's like not terrible if you clip through, but other models will look worse. So maybe I'll redo how we do walls at some point. All right, I'm just going to refresh, I think. Kind of want to make some not really procedural, programmatically, I guess is a better word or something. Change colors on these. Instead of like doing it in Blender and re-exporting them, I could just have built a for loop that finds those particular vertices and then does some sort of color swap on them. I probably should have modeled it in black and white, and maybe I will, and then it's easier to change colors on it. I don't know. I'm just gonna refresh and look at the string lights that are probably still Christmassy. Maybe excuse me. Maybe I'll I'll make different colors to make them Eastery next. I just have to grab some sort of I guess I should be doing some Photoshop to get the colors I want, because we have the icon with the different colors. All right. So during daytime, I mean, string lights look, I think, a lot better. What's going on here? Okay, it was still buffering the static stuff. Okay. I tried making a model in Blender for the first time. There's a lot of stuff to learn. I know it's the worst. I feel like it's probably a good time to learn because of the new UI and stuff, though. Yeah, probably. I mean, in theory, yeah, you're lucky, because you don't have to learn all the shit for 2.79 and then go to 2.8 and relearn everything. So it is a good time for you. Because, God, the transition, if you already learned all the keyboard shortcuts and stuff, the transition is so painful. Is this 3 wide? I can't tell. I think it is. There should be probably another string light across this. Maybe, wait, is our string lights 4 wide? Oh, I thought, or maybe I just can't tell. No, I guess they are 3 wide. This is 2 wide here. It's hard to tell the scale of things sometimes. Yeah, Blender fucking sucks. At least in 2.79, it's all about memorizing the million keyboard shortcuts. Like, that's how you get good at Blender with 2.79. It's like a weird gap there that I gotta fix. Yeah, I did something weird with that model. Huh. And it's probably the same in 2.8. They just changed them to all different keyboard shortcuts. Let's make sure these buildings are working. They should be. Yep. So that'll be one of the next things to work on. Maybe this stream, maybe next stream, I'm not sure. Is fixing these layouts so they look good. Like, this is a pretty standard layout, and I'm not really happy with it. It's pretty boring. It doesn't look that realistic. It's kind of shitty looking. This is a broken layout, basically, and it looks terrible. I do like that it's not a square, though. I'll at least give it that. It's not a square building. It's a rectangle, and I think that's better. And then I think it's, okay, this one is pretty much the best we have right now. This is my favorite layout. It's still terrible. But, this is like the hairdresser, and obviously we need like lots of different decorations and accessories on these tables and stuff. But this is my favorite layout, and it's still pretty bad. And it does randomize, the floor model on color and the wall model on color. Yeah, that's pretty good. Are you using like the sculpting tools and stuff, I guess? My first model, I think, in Blender was a rocket that I probably still have somewhere, but I don't know where it would be. Maybe it's in, maybe I could find it. Maybe it's in, I don't think it is, because I think it's probably longer ago than this. Yeah, I don't think so. I made a really crappy rocket. That was my first thing. I still don't know how the sculpting tool works. I don't really want to use it anyway, because like, I mean, I guess you could simplify the mesh after, like there's all those modifiers you can put on it to simplify the mesh, but you know, I need to keep things low poly. And I also like things in general, I like things to be very mathematical, which, you know, sculpting is not. Like I like to have my units, like if I want something too wide, for it to be exactly at 2 units wide and not like 2.0 whatever, you know. And also things that are more organic in my game, I end up doing completely procedurally in code. Like, you know, like my trees and stuff, for the most part, don't touch a lick of Blender. They're like all code. I do a little bit of stuff in Blender, but even the stuff that I do in Blender, like for the leaves, I end up doing a lot of stuff in code after that anyway. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with sculpting. It just, I don't know. Because I like to have control. You don't have control over sculpting, right? You don't have control over what the final mesh really ends up looking like. I like to control every single triangle and how many there's going to be and where they're going to be, and every little way to fix things. I'm such a control freak with so many things in programming. That's why I'm making my own engine for the most part. After ward, I can't even say it now. WARD, isn't it? After word, after word. Is it one word or two words? I don't actually know. I think it's that. I don't know if it's 2 words or 1 word. You're asking me like the worst person, the worst speller in the world. Okay, what the hell happened here? What the fuck? Did I put something through the ground there? I probably did. Which is why it's good getting a suggestion that I have it so I teleport to the right place in the tool. Okay, yeah, I'm about to be a real big asshole to you. Ready? Sorry, I just had to because we were already talking about spelling and grammar and stuff. Twitch, why? How do can you do that for me? Can you time that out for a second? Hold on, I'll try to do it, but you're probably gonna do it way faster than me. Slash time out that one. Yep, you did it faster than me. 600 seconds, alright, whatever. So if you don't do anything, if you just do slash timeout without the one, is that the default, or did you type in 600? Because it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's a bot, so it doesn't matter. I could just ban them, but timeouts are fine. You know, for the most part, not that I'm getting a whole lot of bots, but the timeouts seem to work. They seem to only do it once. I mean, I guess that they kept spamming it. We do the ban whole thing, but they don't keep doing it. Oh, you just click the name. Yeah. Forgot you could do that. I don't think you used to be able to do that. I still don't know how to do that. Ban. Oh, yeah. I don't think when I was streaming like 2 years ago or whatever, that was a thing with Twitch. All right. So now if we go to the village builder, we can try to look at what the hell happened here. How come I don't see a tile that's underground though? Oh, there are. Yeah, there totally are. I think I fixed them. I think it was just those two. Hard to tell what's underground. Let's get rid of that one too, even though I think that one's fine. And I think if I, oh, no, I don't have an exit function. I shouldn't even do it. I'm not going to correct you, Guinea Guy. You just gave me the perfect opportunity, though. I had to. I have no right to do this because I can't speak or spell or read or anything. But you just set it up so perfectly. All right. What the hell is on my to-do list? Fix tree planter. What did I say I was gonna do other than that? Oh, do the Easter light coloring. Right, and I was gonna open up Photoshop. Okay, so we want to, it's probably in my recents, yeah. And then I want to look at in here, yeah, whatever, don't resolve. We're doing the colors on the bulbs. Now, I think the way I wrote this, it kind of is expecting this amount of colors, and we only have 4 really. So I just write this as like multi-color Christmas, and this is going to be our multicolor Easter. But I only have 4 colors ready to go, where we probably should have 5. We can try it with 4 and it might work, but I have to type this because otherwise it's I'm not gonna. Oh, god damn it! I had a. Did that autocorrect or am I just stupid? Hold on. There we go. I had to fuck that up the first time. Okay. I always hate how this defaults. Alright, I'm just gonna try to grab these colors. I feel like I've already done this before and I already have an array of these colors somewhere. I definitely do for the Easter egg minigame, but whatever. So that is 255, 249, and 90. And that is for our yellowish color. And then we're going to do whatever the next one is, which is blue. 175, 235, 255. 235, 255, I believe. This is our light blue. $255, 190, 237. Is it 237? And that was pinkish, right? And then we have this one, which is 171, 237, 113. 171. And then 113, was it? Yes. I did that on the wrong line, didn't I? Yes, I did. This is our light green. And then I need one final color, which I'm honestly not sure what I want to do. Maybe like just a off-white color. What colors are Easter? We have these 4. What else? Maybe just like a white, but not solid white. We already have the yellow though. I feel like a more purpley color, even though we have pink, but we could try one that's more purple. Yeah, that would actually look pretty good probably. I just don't know exactly what lightness I want it at. I think that'll look nice. It's like a lavendery purple. light purple, and that is 188, 147, 255. And then in the notes also, I don't know if I'm gonna do it this stream. Eventually, I want to do billboard string lights, which I know is kind of part of fixed string lights, but not really. Let's have that as 100% done and have a separate to-do for billboarding string lights. Let's move some of this shit over. So it's just stuff we need to get done on top. Okay. What was I gonna do? Oh, the lights. Okay, so kind of want to test this out. It doesn't matter. I'll just refresh. Yeah, just refresh, because once I'm in this tool, then I build an exit function. It's easiest to just refresh. I could technically go back outdoors and it will kind of sort of work, but the camera freaks out. The player speed doesn't get reset. The update loop for it keeps updating. All right, so these are Easter egg colors. I think I like them. They are stretched a little bit on the Y because I have to change the scale in Blender. Let's look at them at nighttime. Yeah, I think I like them. They look Eastery. They look cool. The purple and the pink are pretty goddamn similar. So I might need to like darken one or something, but it's not that big of a deal. I think they look cool. I might need to like make them bigger and do different things with it in the future, but up close, I think I really like them. From afar, I mean, they kind of just blend in a bit too much. Up close, yeah, I mean, like those are like definitely Eastery colors. Nice pastel-y Eastery colors, very nice. From this distance, like the ones up there, you can barely make out the colors on them anyway. This distance, it's nice. I like it. Be cool if I could make them twinkle, which I probably could do depending on how I want to go about it. There's so many different things I could do to have that happen. I could do a custom shader for them. I can do model swapping. I can update the buffer on the model. I don't know. I feel like shader would probably be the best way, maybe. I don't know. Twinkling might be cool though. I might want to have some sort of custom scales and sizes on these. So they don't all have to be 3 long, and I can have more control over the spacing of them and how often we have them. I think I probably will do that long term. And then we can really, really have them evenly distributed. Yeah, let me write down some notes. These probably won't be things I do today, but I'll have something that is just called improve string lights. I wish my keyboard that I actually like to use worked, because I'm making more typos with this one. This one's like, I don't know, it's too squishy, this one. So that'll be twinkle with maybe a shader. And then also custom scale slash, I guess, widths or lengths. I don't know. Widths, lengths. I don't know. Lengths. To have more control over uniform placement. Because I think if we like could easily just make it so that it always goes across a stretch of town every 5 units or whatever, I think that would look really nice. I think that would be an improvement. I also have to add seasonal decor to things that are not just buildings. That way we can have like wreaths hanging from the lanterns and stuff, and banners, and maybe some wreaths on these posts even. Maybe. I don't know if these posts would work that well for that, but something like that. Okay. This isn't too bad though. I like it. Okay, should I work on indoor placements now? How long have I been streaming? Not that long. Not that long at all. Okay. I mean, this is probably going to be a pretty short stream anyway compared to my other streams because I started so late, but I'll probably move on to indoor placements. Indoor things. Right? Because the other things are fixed tree planter style. I could do that anytime. I don't feel like doing it right now. Billboard, the string lights. Yard block, village decorations. We could do village decorations because we don't have any of those right now working, like fountains and stuff. And statues. The issue is I don't excuse me. I don't have models that I can think of right now ready to go. So I'd have to go into Blender and model shit, and I don't really feel like doing that. I mean, I don't know how much longer I'm gonna have the stream anyway because I got stuff I have to do, and I didn't sleep well last night, so like I only got like 2 hours of sleep, so I gotta figure this stuff out. More wall types. Stop being lazy with that thing. Improve string lights. Okay. I'm gonna go down a bit further, see what else there is in this list. The start game tutorial. I do want to do that soon-ish, but probably not this stream. But hopefully, like within the next like 5 streams, sometime in there, I'll get this zone working. Oh, indoor placements. I'm probably gonna have to do this off stream because it's gonna be a fucking headache. Fix crows. I'm probably just going to disable them until we have a model that works. Right, we kind of fixed this, but then somehow, even when we undid this fix, this was still broken, even though fixing this seemingly is what broke this. I don't know. It was so confusing. Fix underwater. We fixed the shaders, just need to have an animation. Improve indoor merchant layouts, which is the same things that we were talking about above. Village layouts, which is what we've been doing. Merchant signs, yeah, I do need to do that. Museums that actually work, that needs to be done. Add back NPCs, that's going to involve web worker stuff that I don't want to do today. Fix collisions, which who knows when the hell that's going to happen, probably like 6 months from now. And then biomes, which I'm not doing today. Okay, and there's the not needed but wanted section, which is gardening and farming, which is needed long term. This is just like to get the game to be playable. This is needed definitely long term, but to get to playable state, this is not needed. Lots digging, which we kind of got done, but it's like really shitty. Small structures, animals, and plants. Okay. Yeah, indoor layouts. I'm trying to figure out if I want to do that today or make this a short stream, come back later in a few hours, or just have a short stream today. I don't know. I'd probably like disable all of the indoor layouts and just have one for one type to test out with. But yeah, I want to have our stairs in here. Now that we have stairs, that kind of work. Because I don't like how flat these are either. I definitely don't want them all to be squares. At the very least, have them have different lengths and widths, so they're rectangles. At the very most, ideally, they would have, they'd just be an irregular shape with bits that can project out and bits that go in. I mean, one thing that kind of bothers me a little bit, but there's not much I can do, and I'm just gonna leave it like this forever probably, is it doesn't really make sense the inside a lot of times compared to the outside. Like here, if we really want this to match, the inside, number one, is going to be a different width because this is too small to have anything usable inside. If we had the actual scale of the building on the inside that is on the outside, and we can scale all of our buildings up, but I don't really want to do that. I don't think I'd want that. So that's just something I'm gonna have to get okay with, where the inside is not going to make sense at all, shape or size, compared to the outside. But I'll just have to learn to accept that. Okay, so how do I want to get started with this? I guess I need to disable all the layouts. Look at the layout builder code. I don't know if I'm prepared to do this now. I think I need more sleep to do this. And I have some freelance work that I have to get done like today, so yeah, we got a decent amount done, I think. Let me do a commit. I'm probably gonna at least take a break, maybe be back later, maybe be back tomorrow. I'll do some stuff off stream, hopefully. Okay, so what do we do? Added sloped walls to villages. Fixed stairs, even though they're still a little broken with the model, but we fixed the functionality. Okay, I'm glad to hear that, Guinea guy. Fixed village string lights. This keyboard sucks. I guess I need to buy one. It would be nice if we actually made donations on this stream, and then I can justify buying a keyboard for this stream. I don't even know what one I would buy though, so it's not really something that I want. I don't need the money for it, because even if I did, I don't know what I would buy. I guess another slim Apple keyboard, and chat would hate me for that. We have that basically done since last time. The lanterns I did before that. Okay, so it's basically that. We improved village layouts. We improved the tool a little bit too, but not enough to write something in the commit. Whatever, that's good enough. Added sloped walls to villages, fixed stairs for villages, fixed village string lights, and improved village layouts. Sure, whatever. All right. I wish I could stream longer. This is like a really short stream. It's only almost 4 hours. So it's like less than half my usual length. But I got a busy day. I didn't sleep much, so maybe once I get done all the freelance work I do today, maybe I'll stream more today. Maybe I'll take a nap and then stream more or something. We'll see. Maybe I'll do. I don't know what the difference between host and raid is. And last time I tried to do a raid, didn't even work. But let's see if there's anyone. No, there's not even anyone streaming. Okay, whatever. Like a normal length stream for most people. That's too short. You can't get, like, for the amount of work that I have to get done, you can't get much done in 4 hours. I mean, we saw the commit message. There was barely anything there. It was like fixing 4 bugs, basically. Not even. Basically fixing 3 bugs, and that's basically it. I mean, maybe I should be able to do more programming in 4 hours, just because I'm bad at programming, but it's not enough. We have so much shit to get done. I should be working on this 24/7, but I don't know. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. I'll stream again soon, and I'll see you soon.